Okay, Torah Yud Base, second column. Even on the second column, where the first column begins the mimer. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is explaining like this: that why is there a mitzvah milah? Because the person's incomplete; they have to be complete. So he says, to understand this, he says, Hashem renews creation. In order to renew creation, there's a lot of curtains. Just like there's a curtain between Kodesh and Kodesh in the Beis HaMikdash, there's the same thing, there's a matzah between Kodesh and Chol. But in order for Gashmis to be created from Ruchnis, there has to be a lot of concealments, a lot of coverings and all that to be able to create. Then he said that what we're learning now is in Chol itself, there's two levels. There's Chol Gomor, complete Chol, mundane, and then you have Chol and Shenasu Ataras HaKodesh, like Chol HaMoed. It's Chol, but it's not a regular Chol of Klipa, it's a Chol of Kedusha. Okay, and that's what he's saying. And he says, that's the whole inyan why you need Yigir Kapecha Kiseichol. So what's the or Misha Torah about of Shabbos Heichel the Shabbos? It means that the person, the avoid is lasis l'sakin, to fix the bitterness of the beans and to take it home and sweeten it up that you can eat it. Okay, that's what we're up to now. So he said, "V'tikun zeh, this tikun gamkin b'chinas hamila." That's also the level of milah. Again, what's the avoid of the Jew? To fix the unfinished world that Hashem made of klipa, and we have to make it into kedusha. Because before Avraham circumcised himself, his name was Avram, not Avraham, but Avram, which is Av or Bechinas Reishis Agilui. Av is the level of Chochmah. We learned that last night. Av is the level of Chochmah. Chochmah is, as Yosef was called, Avrech. So Av and Ein is Chochmah and Bina. So Yesh Miyayin Chochmah, as the pasuk says, Chochmah Ma'ayin Timatzi. So Chochmah, which is the beginning of Gilui, is Yesh Miyayin, which is Barkat Ashba, is called B'Shem Av. And that level, B'chinas Ram Al Kol Goyim. That level was Avram. Kabbalah Chassidus explains Avram is not only Chochmah Ilah of Atzilus, but Chochmah Stima Ram. It's exalted. It's the Chochmah Stima of Kesser. Avraham Avinu was Chochmah of Avram, the level of Chochmah Stima. But anyway, here he says it's Mitnei Shoyadei Masach, because it was a curtain. There was a curtain. This level of Avram couldn't come down into world. It was too great. But once Vayidei Hamilo, then he became Avraham. As Hashem said to him, Av Hamayin Goyim, now he could deal with the nations. Because now the covering came off. In other words, the bris milah is the foreskin is covering. Right? Now, so before that, the level of Avraham was Avraham completely removed, exalted from world. Now he became Avraham, Avaman Goyim, Laheisev Iskalus Nitzutzis, to add the level of sparks, Kiliyah Sa'oda Begilu Gomor, that it should be a total level of revelation. Archie is Gadiv Anitzis, that the spark becomes close. Licholo Tachas Kamfei Shechina, to become under the wings of the Shechina, which is the Daidei Amila, which is through the level of Milah. Why? Because Milah is two words. Mol, Milah is Mem Yud Lamed Hey, so it's Mol, Yud Kei. What does that mean? That's the level of Chochmah Bina. Yud Kei, right? Yud is Chochmah, Hey is Bina, Vav is the 6 feet, it's Hey is Malchus. So Yud Kei, Milah is Mal Yud Kei. Now Yud Kei is Chochmah Bina. Mal, speech is called Mamalel. We say that Miya Malo Gvos Hashem, Yeshmir Koti Lase. Mal is the level of Gilui, because speech is Gilui. Mal Lashon is Galus. Ki Mal Lashon Memalala. Shadibur, what is Dibur do? Dibur reveals the Chochmah. If you have wisdom or Seichel or Midas, right? How do you reveal it? We learn. Dibur, real Gilui is through Dibur. Because Chochma goes from the potential to the poil, that you take speech, reveals Chochma from the potential to the actual, and he says, when Mashiach comes, it says, it said when it will be a clear language, meaning Elokus will be revealed. It says, all flesh will see. Kipi Hashem diba, that Hashem spoke. Mach Mashiach gili b'chinas dibur. Because what will be when Mashiach comes? V'nigla kved Hashem. Right? V'nigla kved Hashem. The gilui of Elokus will be revealed. Kved Hashem, the glory of Hashem will be revealed. That's the level of Milah. So Milah also has to do with the gilui of Mashiach, because Milah on the 8th day, Mashiach is a level of 8. That's the level of Milah, which is Mal Yudke, revealing the level of Yudke. Okay? So this is what he's explaining why Avraham had to do the Inyan of Bris, because before that there are concealments, and therefore if you want to unconceal the concealments, that's the concept of Milah. Or, when Hashem created the world, he created unedible beans. So the eating aspect of it was concealed. Now Hashem revealed, now you take it, you fix it. Now you make it edible. So you're taking it from the potential of bitterness, non-edible, and now you're making it edible. So that's this whole thing with the Gilui. Okay, so he says, this Gilui L'mayla is a level of Chashmal. Chashmal, not... In today, they use Chashmal as electricity in Israel. Yeah, in modern day Ivrit. Where did he get the word Chashmal from? In the Merkava, that Yecheskel saw of Elokus, he said, Keina Chashmal. He saw Chashmal, which represents a super great level of Elokus. Many Gedolei Yisrael were opposed that they took a word Chashmal, which refers to a super high level of Hashem's Merkava, of Hashem's throne, and they use it for electricity. It's like disgracing the level. But now he says like this, what's Chashmal? Chashmal is Chashmal. Chash means to be silent. Like Shlomo Melech says, Item l'daber, item lachshes l'daber. So Chashmal means a level of Elokus that's not revealed. Mal is revealed. Chash is the opposite. So what is the Chashmal? Chash, the hidden level, becomes Mal, becomes revealed. Like he says, Item chashes. Sometimes this level is concealed, like it says, it's so remarkable, and Chassidus takes all these things together. Chochma is the first gili. Yeah? So how do you reveal Chochma? Through Dibur. But Shlomo Melech says in Koheles, Eis l'daber, Veis achshes l'daber. This is time to do this. You know, all the times that Shlomo Melech, the 8 times, whatever it is, Eis listen, Eis that, and so on. So the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, Siyag l'chochma shtika. The fence, if you want to sound smart, you're quiet. When you talk, you sound stupid. If like Shlomo Melech says, a fool, when he's silent, people might think he's smart, because he doesn't reveal his stupidity. Okay? So there's a level of talking, and but he says, the Mishnah says, Siyag l'chochma shtika. The fence of Chochma, because Chochma itself is not begilui. Dibur reveals the level of Chochma. So the Mishnah says, Siyag l'chochma shtika, and the contrary, not gilui. Chochma itself is Avraham, the level of concealment, removal. And he says, therefore it says, V'item amalales. Sometimes you need to speak b'chinas dibur. V'gilui v'gam mal, and also that's one interpretation. So mal means actually to speak. So Milah is mal yudke. In other words, yudke is concealed, and right, and you have to reveal it. That's Milah, mal yudke. Then you have Chashmal is chashmal. Sometimes it's hidden, sometimes it's revealed. Chachma is sometimes hidden, sometimes revealed. That's one definition of mal. But he says now, mal means something else also. The pasuk at the beginning of Vayera says, "V'yeshiv memuli." He's sitting opposite me. Mul. Mul means opposite, which is the same two letters, mem lamed. Pirish, what does it mean? Negdi klemer. Davar shenira, something which is visible. Kilo nechach einov. When you say it's sitting, he's sitting opposite me, means he's revealed. You see him. He's sitting opposite me. So again, mal means talking. Mal means mimuli, opposite me, which is also gilui. What is that avoida in the prior person? Lamata badam atachton. In Eksiv it says, Na'asad mitzalmeinu kidmuseinu. Let's make Adam in our image, in our form. Yesh gam ki masach ala iver. There's also concealment on the bris milah, hamashpia, which is the level of ram. In other words, like this: the koich ein sof. It's in one of the explanations in the Medrash. What do you mean, Na'asad mitzalmeinu kidmuseinu? Besides the fact in our image, what do you mean Hashem doesn't have any images? Okay, so there's many explanations. Number one, the human is the only thing that stands on 2 feet. Right? The Nachash Chatchilus stood on 2 feet, then he got stomached. But it says, so Adam is, the head is above the heart. Because in Alukus, there's Seichel and Mides. Seichel is higher than Mides. Therefore, the head physically is higher than the heart. By an animal, it's all on all fours, so the head and the rest of the body are on the same level. Right? So therefore, Seichel and Midas is all the same thing. It's all Midas, no Seichel. But here he's saying something else also. The Koich Ein Sof, that a person is able to create children, we're able to create children until end of all, the continuity, until the end of all times, that's the Koich Ein Sof. That's the ability of the infinite power of Hashem, that a person has the ability to create a child who creates a child who creates a child who creates a child. So that's also the Koich Ein Sof. So the Aver, where the Bris Milah is, that's the Aver, that's Mashpia, that level of Tzameinu Kidmuseinu. That's the level that creates that Gilui. So he says, and his starters, Lashem Elokeinu, that's the level of Chochmah Bina. V'ha nigleis lanu v'neinu, and the revealed is to us in Hashem. Meaning, Shaidei HaMilah, through the level of Milah, Mal Yudkei, revealing the level of Yudkei, Nigleis lanu v'neinu. Shagili el b'chinas b'neinu, which is the level of Heiloda, which is the level of giving birth, which is the Koich Ein Sof. Meaning like this, the Pasuk says at the end of Chumash, and it starts Hashem Elokeinu, v'niglos lanu v'neinu. So it says in Kabbalah like this. Nistardas Hashem Elokeinu refers to Chochmah and Bina. Yudkei. Ve'ha niglois, Vav and Hey, the second two letters of Hashem's name, is niglis lanu v'neinu. That becomes a gilui to us and our children. That means Chochmah and Bina itself is a nistardas Hashem Elokeinu. Right? Vav Hey is the level of Gilui. What reveals the Yudkei, the Nistaris, the hidden level, that's Mila Mal revealing the Yudkei. That's Hanistaris Hashem Elokeinu is Chochmah Bina. And Ve'hanigla is Vav Hey, that's the level of Gilui, that's the union of Bris Milah. And this Al Rebbe explains in Tanya Perek Chavav, when he speaks about how a person should have Simcha, and he explains that the everything Hashem does is good. Sometimes it's revealed good, sometimes it's concealed good. The Rebbe says the concealed good comes from a higher level than the revealed good. Why? The pasuk says, "Asher hagever." The Rebbe quotes this pasuk in the Gersa Tshuva. "Asher hagever, asher tiyasrenu ya." Right? Yudkei. Fortune is the person that Yudkei makes suffer. Okay? So it says Yudkei. So the suffering, the hidden good, comes from Yud-Kei. Ve'haniglois, the revealed good, that comes from Vav-Hei. Now Yud-Kei is Seichel, Vav-Hei is Midas, right? Chochmah, Bina, Zohar, Malchus. So he says, Yud-Kei is higher than Vav-Kei. So therefore the Alter Rebbe explains in Perek Chavav of Tanya that the hidden good that comes down in a punishment form is a higher level of good than the revealed good. What?
So does that mean that Yisurim in general are beyond our comprehension?
Correct. But it's ultimate good that we can't understand. It's a concealed level of godliness that he doesn't allow us to understand. When the Asara Arugei Malchus were being killed, we say it in Yom Kippur davening. We say it in Tisha B'Av. Asara Arugei Malchus. So they decided, we say it in Aved of Yom Kippur, they decided that somebody should go up, ask God what's going on here. Okay? So Tia Rabbi Yishmael Asatzmei, Rabbi Yishmael, the Kohen Gadol, purified himself. He went up, whatever, he went up there. Okay? And so in the davening, we don't say the whole thing. But in the Medrash, it says that when Rabbi Yishmael asked God what's going on here, he said, Shtaik, silence, Kach ola b'machshava, this is what I want, and if you keep talking, I will make the whole world back to nothing again. I will destroy the world. The question, come on, the guy's supposed to be a nice guy. The guy's asking a legitimate question. Why are you doing this? The tzaddikim, the 10 tzaddikim are being killed. I mean, come on, it's a legitimate question. The guy has no right to ask Hashem. He didn't stop keeping Yiddishkeit because of it. Whatever answer, Shtei kachol b'machshava. Hashem answered, shh. Hashem answered him, this is a level that you can't understand. It's shtika. Like he said, siyag l'chachma shtika. Shtika is the lack of gilui. Right? Talking is gilui. Silence is concealment. Right? So Hashem answered, not that Hashem was cruel guy. Hey, dude. He said, Shtaik, this is something you can't understand. Don't try understanding it. Why? Because I said so. Years ago, when parents told their kids to do something, and the kid said, why? The answer was, because I said so. Parents don't say that anymore. You're not allowed to. You can get sued for telling your kid, I know, because I said so, you know. But there's the union of, you do it because that's the way you're supposed to do it. The story with the Friedrich Rebbe. The Friedrich Rebbe once asked his father, Rebbe Rashab. It says in Minhagam, when you say Maida Ani, again, we were first before the Goyim. You put your hands like this, and you bow down your head, and you say Maida Ani Lefanech. That's what it says in Minhagam, we do it. So the Friedrich Rebbe was a little kid. He said to his father, why do we do it that way? Why do we do it that way? So he called in, Rabbi Rashab called him, he had a Yiddish servant, a simple Jew, unlearned completely. He said to him, how do you say Maidani? He told me, you know. He said, why do you do it like that? He said, because my father told me that's the way you do it. So the Rabbi Rashab said to the Friedrich Rebbe, you do it because that's the way you do it. Who says you need an explanation? You don't need explanations for everything. Years ago in Yiddish there was an expression, if you know everything, you're going to grow old fast. You know? You know, you get old too fast. There are certain things, there's a level in Elokus which is chashmal, sometimes you have to be chash, silence, meaning it's something we don't understand. And then there's mal, there's a level of mila, mal yudkei, to reveal yudkei. But yudkei itself is in the start of Hashem Lakeinu. So what did Mila accomplish by Avraham Avinu? Mila accomplished that level of Elokus will be revealed. And we're on 24 on the top. And that's what he says, on the stars, Hashem Lakeinu Chachma Bina. V'aniglas lana shayidei hamila, through the level of Bris Mila. Niglas lana v'neinu, becomes the gili to us and our children. What does it mean, children? Continuity for all times. Therefore, when the hay was added by Avraham, the reish wasn't taken away. Like by Sarai, the yud was taken away and replaced by a yud. I mean a hey and whatever. But here by Avraham, he added a letter. So the Reish, Avraham was still there. He just stuck a hey in the middle. Because hey is speech. The 5 formations of speech. So now the Av, the hidden level of Chachma, that was Ram, now becomes with a hey, it becomes Gilui. Al Shenteis Be'ebi is Bechinas Ram Zabi Gilui. V'amila Gilui, and Mila is the level of Gilui, of Masach HaMavdal, of the separation between holiness and mundane. Yisrael Chulin Shenasa Taras HaKadosh, She'ikad Havdalah, which is the primary level of Havdalah. He said before, there's Havdalah between Kodesh and Kodesh. Okay? Even in Chol, there's 2 levels. There's Chol and Chulin Shenasa Taras HaKadosh, Chol HaMayid. He says the primary level of Havdalah, is between Kodesh and Chol. We don't need it so much because you already separate the Havdalah between Shabbos and Chol. Can we finish this Maimer? Okay. Let's go to the next page on Yud Gimel. There's a short Maimer. Sari Ishtacha. Yeah. Okay, the pasuk says, Sari Ishtacha lesikra shma Sarai ki Sara shma. Sarai, your wife, right? Hashem changed the name Avram to Avram, and Sarai the Yud. So by the way, it's interesting. Sarah couldn't give birth, Avram couldn't give birth. Okay? So Hashem said, yeah, Avram can't give birth, but Avram, like you change, God forbid, somebody's very sick, you add a name. You don't change his name, God forbid. You add a name. Why? Because then you say in the prayer over there, if it was decreed that Avram should die, now it's Chaim Avram, so it's a different guy, you know. So Hashem said Avram can't have kids, but Avraham could. Sarah can't have kids, but Sarah will have a kid. It's interesting, the Medrash says, in the last week's Parshat, said, Sarah Yakara ein lo velad. Sarah was barren, right? Mamish the end of Noach. Sarah was barren, ein lo velad. What's the repetition? She was barren, obviously she didn't have a kid. So the Medrash says she didn't even have a womb to have a baby. It's not the pshat, she was barren. Ein lo velad means she didn't have even a womb to be able to have a. Now she was, a woman could have a womb and still not still be barren. So Sarah. So what happens? Hashem took the yud from Sarai and split it into 2 hays. One hay he gave Avraham, and one hay he gave to Sarai. Okay, so Sarai, he took the hay, which is the yud, which is 10. He split it. Okay, we're going to make it 5-5. 2 hays. Avraham and Sarah. So then, but the letter Yud, says in the Medrash, the letter Yud came with a complaint to Hashem. It's not fair. You took me away. You took me away. It's okay. You split me into 2, but still there's no Yud anymore. There's 2 A's. It's not fair. So Hashem said to him, until now you were the last letter of a woman's name. I'm going to stick you to Yehoshua. And you're going to be the Yud, is going to be the first letter of a man's name. So that's how he consoled the Yud, so to speak. So that's what so he consoled them by doing that. Okay, so he says like this. Hinei, Shini Hashem Shal Sarah. Why did Hashem change it? It says in the pasuk that Sarah is not going to have a kid, but Sarah will have a kid. That means why did Hashem change her name? That she should have a kid. Chazal say, Sarai won't give birth, but Sarah will. Okay? It doesn't make sense. Hashem took the Yud and made it into a hay. So the Yud can't give birth, but the hay could. L'chayre, Yud is Chachma, He is Bina. Chachma is greater than Bina. So Hashem took away something greater, the Yud, and gave her a Hey. So if the Yud couldn't give birth, how could the Hey give birth? Yud is Chachma, Hey is Bina. So it's l'chayre much greater. Ki Yud Chachma, Hey is Bina. And know that it's known, Ki Ikar Elod, the primary level of birth doesn't come from the level of Bina, it comes from the level of Chachma. Because Chachma is Ayin, and the Chachma is Ma'ayin Timatzei. Chachma comes from Ayin, and birth is Yesh Mi'ayin. Right? So the Koyach of Hilada is from Chachma, not from Bina. Masha'en King Bina is called Yesh. So Ve'ech Nepach, how did it change by Hasara? That there's Yud, as a Yud, Sarai, she couldn't give birth. The Koyach Hilada comes from Yud, not from Hey. Even though practically the woman carries the baby for 9 months. But the Koyach of Hilada comes from the male, which is the level of Yud. Ve'echnep achud liyesh. Koyach Hilada loikech mi'ita. Koyach HaYud, how is it possible now she's able to give birth? By taking away the Yud, and now you give her Koyach HaHebim Kaimei. How does it work? It says like this. V'inyin ki Sarah, Avraham and Sarah im Chachmi Lo v'Chachma Tata. Last day at the class we spoke, it says in the Zohar, Avraham and Sarah is in the Neshama and Guf. Avraham is in the Neshama, the Zohar says, and Sarah represents the Guf. That's why we spoke a whole Sikha from the Rebbe. That's why Sarah had to be taken to Beis Parei in this week's Parshat, because she had to be taken into the Golus, the Guf. But only through Sarah, the Guf, Avram hated Bavura. Avram had all the benefit of all the richness because of Sarah, right? To compensate Sarah. That means the Neshama's greatness comes because of Sarah, because of the Guf. That's where the whole Yehudi doesn't, whatever. We spoke a long time last night. So he says, but here he's saying, Avram and Sarah Chachma Lo v'Chachma Tata. Higher level of Chachma, and there's a lower level of Chachma. Avram is a level of Chachma Atzilus. Avram is a level of Chachma Atzilus. Vinei L'mayla kachu amida. Therefore, L'mayla, this is the way it works, Ikar Hilada. The primary concept of birth, to be Metzias Lada Chadashim, to give a new creation of a baby, is Aidei Tzimtzum Dafka. Is only through Tzimtzum. To create, okay, from Yesh to Yesh, we'll talk more about tomorrow's later, but from Yesh to Yesh has to be Ayin Ba'emtza. There has to be, from one level to another level, there has to be a nothing in the middle. Because one Yesh contradicts another Yesh. So how do you make one opposite to the next? Because any Yesh, two Yeshes are opposite. This is this, and this is this. How do you make A to B? So it has to be Ayin B'emsa. Similar, okay, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Similar, the Gemara says, Rab Zeda, he went up from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. A lot of Amiroim went up from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. Rab Zeda was one of them. So the Gemara says Rab Zeda fasted 40 fasts. Another version, Chassidus brings down, is 100 fasts. They should forget Talmud Bavli. The Shtakach Talmud Bavli. I think there's a lot of questions in the Mepharshim ask, you're not allowed to forget learning. Okay, whatever. But the bottom line is, Rab Zeda fasted to forget Talmud Bavli in order to learn Talmud Yerushalmi. So Chassidus explains, that's the level of, from Yesh of Bavli, to come to Yesh of Yerushalmi, there has to be an Ayin Be'emtza. To be continued tomorrow. This explains something I never understood in